confidence in Bitcoin's ETF approval is starting to grow, and that's one of the catalysts here, sending prices briefly above 30,000 this week. This comes after a judge ruled that the SEC had no basis to deny Grayscale's bid to turn its GBTC's Bitcoin fund into a spot ETF. Now, the regulator opting to not appeal that decision. The timeline on when the first Bitcoin ETF will get approved is still unclear, but investors are optimistic. For more on this, I want to bring in Farrell, Fundstrat Global Advisors, head of digital asset strategy. It's great to see you here, Sean. Let's talk about the massive run-up that we've seen in Bitcoin. Lots of excitement about the SEC's decision here, the pending, or I should say the hope that we will get a spot Bitcoin ETF. What do you think of the rally that we've seen and what that upside potentially looks like for crypto?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. We've been pretty constructive recently, just given all of the both macro tailwinds and, this crypto-specific catalyst. I think what's been, we've seen gold rally, as, your analyst just pointed out. And a lot of people were a bit disheartened because, Bitcoin had not gotten that bid. We've seen a local top in the dollar, perhaps a local top in rates, and a bottoming in global liquidity conditions, which is what Bitcoin is normally most sensitive to. And I think the market was really just waiting for a conclusion to this SEC versus Grayscale saga. And once the SEC announced that they would not be pursuing an appeal, we saw a very compelling bid of the Grayscale trusts, crypto adjacent equities, and then we had Larry Fink come on. I forget what program he was on. Should have been on Yahoo Finance. Should have been. He came on and he noted that the recent rally was due to an appetite for quality assets, and I think that's what we're seeing now. And I think the same reasons to be constructive on gold are the reasons to be constructive on Bitcoin.
Well, the validation makes it quality, right? If this appeal went forward, then there's still the question mark of whether or not there would have been that validation and then the annex of quality. But now, given the fact that you have a way forward for a Bitcoin ETF here to make an entry point into the markets here, we had actually discussed with Michael Sonnenschein, the Grayscale CEO, about what that crypto environment could look like after it looked like there was a clear pathway forward. And he said that they're expecting or anticipating an environment that we have not seen before after that legal win took place. What could that look like from your purview? And what type of inflows do you think it could trigger for Bitcoin and other crypto-related assets?
Yeah, look, I think that's a great question and a great point by Michael. Assets trade based on who is trading them, right? And so historically, we've seen Bitcoin pretty closely correlated to tech stocks at times also very correlated, like this year with gold. And a lot of that has to do with who is trading that asset. When there was, we had the post-COVID monetary stimulus, all of the, employees working from home and trading meme stocks. There was a lot of borrow, a lot of credit in the crypto ecosystem. And so what we saw is, this incredible fervor rally that was largely correlated with unprofitable tech. But now I think people are seeing the volatility in, the sell-off in the bond market. They're seeing, global calamity, a reducing of trust in between different central banks, and that's reflected in sovereign debt prices. And you have very well-reputed financial professionals who don't normally wade into crypto waters, saying that this, digital bearer asset is a good alternative for those who don't want to, assume a 30-year bond in, even a developed country. So, I think you're going to see a new cohort of investors really seek Bitcoin in times of both increase in global liquidity, to hedge against, both asset and price inflation. And, we'll also see it as this, as Larry puts it, a flight to quality.
Sean, what do you think is the realistic timeline that we're going to potentially see an approval?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll definitely get it before. So ARC is the first final deadline in the series of Bitcoin spot ETF applications, and that final deadline is January 11th. And so, in my book, that is the upper bound for where we'll see these ETFs come to market. But if I think in our discussions with clients, I think it'll happen before that time. And it's likely we'll see all of them get approved at once because what happened with the futures ETF, back in 2021, they approved one application in ProShares, and they obviously won as first to market all of the flow, and so they kind of dubbed a winner. And so I think they want to avoid that now. They want to get all of the applications tidied up and just be able to approve them all at once. And so I think we'll see that definitely within the next few months.
Sean, we got some interesting comments this week from Michelle Bowman of the Fed, and ultimately talking about central bank digital currencies, talking more largely about crypto-related assets and what she would like to see. What do you believe that the Fed is going to do, at least in its kind of guidance or any type of advising that it gives around digital currencies and how that could perhaps be the next hurdle for crypto to get past, especially as they're talking about what regulators and what Congress needs to do on the matter?
Yeah, well, I mean, not sure about the Fed. I do think they'll have some. I do not think that we are careening towards a CBDC like a lot of people think we are. I actually think that the Fed has put out some statements that are kind of open-minded towards stablecoins on public rails, which is the killer use case for crypto right now, and so that's encouraging. I think the real action has to happen in Congress, and we have a couple of very promising bills: one market structure bill, and a stablecoin bill that have some legs and could probably get through the House, but likely with the current administration would probably not pass the Senate. But if we were to see a situation in which either there was a vibe shift or some changes in the makeup of Congress, I think that would be the best thing from a regulatory perspective, and what has to happen, because right now the current regulation by enforcement clearly isn't working. It's exemplified in the SEC's court record right now, and we just need sound regulation so that we can have look after consumers and but make sure that we are promoting capital formation and innovation in the U.S.
All right, Sean, all eyes after this going to be on the halving next year. Sean Farrell, Fundstrat Global Advisors, Head of Digital Asset Strategy. We've already got our countdown clocks working for that halving. Appreciate it.
Thank you.